cast us away. Together we shall forge a new one. Those who oppose me shall perish through my agents of destruction.
Hello there, gang, and welcome to another episode of Displaying-Model-Behaviour, the Earth's mightiest action figure video podcast. So take off your pants, crack a beer, let's talk toys. Let's talk about Marvel Legends Retro
Apocalypse. I am as far beyond mutants as they are beyond you.
Yeah, you're going to be getting a lot of this voice in the review, but hey, if you wanted something that wasn't annoying, you probably shouldn't have come here. But let's take a look at this guy. Obviously resplendent in the retro card packaging. I just sound like a broken record at this point. They just look so gorgeous with the graphic design. And then you pop him out of the box and yeah, he's big, bright, bold, chunky, all the things that I should love. But do I? Well, we're going to find out right now. Apocalypse. I'm torn. I gotta say, I'm a little torn on this guy.
Spare me your petty judgments. They spring from a brain too meager to comprehend my reality.
At first glance, yes, he ticks all the right boxes. I love the bright, vibrant color scheme. And first of all, just Apocalypse as a character, as a design, he's just awesome. He's so well put together and thought of. Just this hulking, mechanical, technological, but also ancient kind of brute. I love the fact that he always seems to have this kind of collar around his neck that's so intrinsically Apocalypse. And whatever version you have of the character, it's kind of reinterpreted. And this just looks great. This is full-on animated show. 100%. This is straight off the cartoon. Excellent. They chose a direction and they hit it. Almost. And that's where we got ourselves a little bit of a problem. Okay, hear me out on this. Yes, it's the cartoon colors. That's nice. But it's the discrepancy in the paint is what I'm talking about. This is what kind of doesn't quite do it for me. The head sculpt, okay, we're going to work our way towards this point, all right? It's all about the journey, not the destination, okay? Strap in, because it's going to be a bumpy ride. The head sculpt is terrific. Love the Apocalypse head sculpts. Kind of reworked from the Build-A-Figure. This is a lot of rework from the Build-A-Figure, but it's not just a repaint, so credit. That's, good stuff here, good stuff. But the head, yeah, love it. We got two. We got the where he looks like he kind of like smelled something bad, like, oh, Apocalypse doesn't know about this. Apocalypse never speaks in the third person. I don't know why I said that. And also we have the Apocalypse face, which is always fun. That's great. But look at these head sculpts. It's not just the sculpt, which is really nice, but it's the washing, the paint, the cracks and the crevices that are filled in with the darker grey colour. That really brings it to life. It makes it look like this old, craggy face that's also super powerful. Like, that's what's kind of cool about the Apocalypse design. He's got features that you would put akin to an old person, but then looks like a tank. That's a really cool, funny kind of juxtaposition that's going on there. Love the lips and all that sort of stuff. And then, with the eyes, they've got a little bing of yellow there, which just brings them to life a little bit more. Funny how a little bit of paint makes something look so much better. We're coming to that. In fact, we're going to come to it right now. This head, this is where the good paint ends. And then we got the rest of the figure. And it's like, geez, man, really? You got three, count them, three colors. You got purple, you got blue. I was trying to think, what is that color? Yeah, it's blue. Well done, Dave. And you've got gray, which is just these extra attachments. Really, it's two colors. And the thing is, you could say, yes, it's because they're going for the bright, bold, animated style. But this isn't really animated style because they have their animated style and they're cell shaded, and this isn't cell shaded, so you haven't gone full hog on that. That's not really an expression, full hog, but there we go. You haven't gone full hog with that. I'm going to commit to it now. And because of that, it's not exactly animated. So then if you're not going to go that way, then go the other way. Do it more comic booky, so actually do some more paint. Give him a wash. For the love of God, man. Give him a wash. That's why he's pulling that face. He can smell himself. There's lots of awesome detail in this sculpt. And that's where it's a bit of a shame, because you're not seeing it. It's not being brought out for you. You know, it's like a shy little child who you're trying to drag on stage, because you can do it. You can do it. Come on. But no, it's hidden. That wasn't a flashback to some traumatic childhood memory. It's like, no, Mummy, I don't want to dance on stage. So that's kind of a shame. You got a lot of nice sculpting here that's just kind of lost, because it's just a plain plastic, and because of that also feels a little tacky. It feels a little bit like, well, a kid's toy, which is fine. Toys are often for kids. Not when they cost $40 though. When they cost $40, they ain't for kids anymore. That would have taken me the best part of a year to save up for this when I was a wee lad. You know, shillings and shekels and all that jazz. But this, it doesn't feel like a premium figure. And it should do for $40. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to harken on the price, because again, broken record over here. Tune into Model Behavior. Oh, look, it's Dave saying the same thing he always says. But yeah, what you're getting, it feels a little bit cheap, and that's a bit of a shame. Especially because the heads look really good. And then it looks like he actually missed a phase in the factory. Like he was on the production line and everything's going and putting it together, and then he sort of ducked out of the bit where they spray the wash on the body or do the dry brush, and it's like, oh, you got the head, but you missed the body. So that's a bit of a shame, especially because there's details like on the boots here. These are great, again, straight out of the cartoon, man. They nailed it with the design, with these shoulder pads, with that collar around the chest, and with the paint they do have. I gotta say, there's like a few little smudges. It's not very clean around the A on the belt, on his torso. There's little smudges of blue, so it's not the cleanest paint job either. So it's a bit of a shame. Again, for the price you're paying. If this was like $20 or even the old deluxe price of $30, I'd be like, okay, that's all right, but we're jacking things up. And it's funny because companies are like, hey, times are tough, we got to jack up our prices. And it's like, yeah, but wages are not going up. So that doesn't work, pal. If you're not paying your workers more, then we can't afford to buy those products that you're raising the prices on. It's economics. Even I can tell you that. So yeah, it's a bit difficult to justify, but he does have some nice things to sweeten the deal, such as this badass laser cannon arm. So we're going to swap this over here, and what you do is you can actually pop off the wrist gauntlet, unplug the cable that goes into his arm, and then plug this laser cannon straight on. Now, one thing with these pipes that do go into his arms, I love those. I love the pipes in the arms. Just a cool design aesthetic. Don't know what they do. Don't know why they're there. They would probably be quite annoying in day-to-day life. You get caught and snagged on everything. Doesn't matter though, because they look wicked. So now we've got his laser gun arm on here, and this is the bomb. Love this. Again, straight out of the cartoon. If only it had a little bit of cell shading to make it more cartoony, but it is what it is. But this is the celestial technology. Again, a cool design point about Apocalypse. He's this old ancient being, but he's juiced himself up with all this celestial tech. And this is really cool, shape-shifting his hand into a cannon. And I do like the little pew-pew blast effects on the end here. And then you got the big kahuna, the big mama jamma one going on here. And that looks great. It looks really striking and vibrant. I like that. Nice to add some more colors to the figure. But again, when we're talking about sort of quality that goes into things, we've got this orange paint on here, which again is nice. It's nice to have some different colors. That in itself is good. But the orange paint is very clearly just painted onto the black plastic, and it shows through. It looks almost like, dare I say, looks a bit like a custom. It looks like a custom figure that someone's repainted and put this orange on here, because it's not clean. It's a little bit smudgy around the edges. You can see the black kind of showing through. It doesn't look good. What would it look like really good would have been if this orange was actually a separate, different type of plastic. If it was like a hard plastic, like the plastic they use on Dewberry. Sunfire. I'm going to have to put in one of those cards. 5 minutes later. Like the hard orange plastic to actually show some more effort and just work that's gone into this. This is always my problem with Marvel Legends, and I feel it a lot. I feel like they get given a figure concept and then they're like, how cheap can we do this? How much, like if this is our budget, how can we do it at this price below the budget? It's a shame because you kind of lose out on what could have been a great figure, and it makes it an okay figure. Because originally I was planning to keep hold of this until the Select Apocalypse arrives and then decide which one is best. Select Apocalypse is $10 cheaper. And there's so much more going on with it. It's not even going to be a question, I don't think. Because it's kind of a half measure. Like I said, it's bare bones for what it is, for what you're getting. So honestly, I ain't convinced. One thing that I do kind of like though, so alright, I always complain about the swivel hips, having the big disc in the middle. This, with the Apocalypse belt here, it really breaks it up nicely because, well, more to the point, it doesn't break it up. It keeps the waist looking smooth, so you can twist at the waist, and the belt, because it's a soft rubber, or plastic, I don't know, because it's soft, it will actually move and contort with his waist swivel, so it doesn't break up the midsection of the character. That's really, really nice. Although what I will say is, if you're going to have him posed like this, maybe be aware that might actually bend it out of shape eventually. So when you move him back, it might not fit as snugly around his waist. So something to be aware of. And I think that's all the essentials for the character. So let's do some size comparisons. You know, a YouTube viewer with money is a little like the mule with a spinning wheel. No one knows how he got it, and danged if he knows how to use it.
Mule.
The name's Behavior, Model Behavior, and I come before you good people tonight with a Patreon. Possibly the greatest... it's not really for you. It's more of a Shartimus Prime idea. Now, wait a minute. We're twice as smart as the viewers of Shartimus Prime. Just tell us about your Patreon, and we'll subscribe to it. Alright, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll show you my Patreon. I give you the Model Behavior Patreon. I've sold Patreon subscriptions to Brockway, Ogdenville, North Haverbrook, and by gum that put them on the map. I swear it's YouTube's only choice. Throw up your hands and raise your voice.
Model Behavior! Model Behavior! Model Behavior! Model Behavior!
Model down! The Model Behavior Patreon. Seriously, if you don't subscribe, I'm going to keep singing. I'm not kidding. So here we go with the size comparisons. I think this is always everyone's favourite part of every review. I know it certainly is for me. It's fun to see these guys stacked up together. So we've got the Heat Claws Wolverine, who obviously is a diminutive kind of character, along with Jubilee as well. But for your X-Men comparisons, you can see how he towered above those guys. Towered in the past tense. Then we've got Age of Apocalypse. The only one I still have. I sold the Builder figure. But then we've got AOA Colossus as well. And these are all very comparable, very similar sizes, and they are big chunky boys. Then we've got the other big bad of the Marvel Universe. I think Apocalypse and Doctor Doom, they're right up there as A-listers. And the Star-Spangled Avenger, just to, shed some goodness and light on the whole situation. Now what we're going to do is we're going to pair the big A up with the Hulk. And you can see Hulk is bigger, considerably bigger than Apocalypse there. And AOA Sabretooth, great body that. I really want to see a 90s looking Sabretooth on there. Maybe one day. Now we're going to pair him up with the Rhino. And you can see they're similar, but Rhino definitely a bit bigger, bit thicker. The horns obviously give him a little bit of extra height there. And Uatu the Watcher, because whenever it's the end of the world, Apocalypse and the Watcher, they're going to kind of be hanging out, just sort of watching over it, being like, yep, told you that was going to happen. Then the brown costume Wolverine and Mezco Iron Man. Any excuse to get Mezco Iron Man out, but they do scale well together, absolutely. And you can still appreciate he's a big dude. Now we're going to go to some other lines. We got the Storm Collectibles Sector there, and Little Lynx from Fortnite as well. So you see, even with 7-inch figures, Apocalypse still looks big and beefy. Then just for fun, throw in a couple of brightly coloured, cartoony looking characters. Anthrax actually fits the colour scheme perfectly, along with Batman of Zenora. Those three, they make a good team. So that does it for the size comparisons. Let's give this guy a grade. And the final grade for Retro Carded Apocalypse is 4.5 out of 10. Yep, that's a bit of a low score. I just feel that the paint lets it down. It feels like for a big figure, not as much work has gone into it to justify that very hefty price tag. So even though he's bright and big and chunky and colourful, I feel like too many corners have been cut that keep him from being an above average action figure. So guys, that does it for the Retro Apocalypse review. What could be a decent figure with some nice original sculpting and stuff going on, let down by not really committing to one vision or another, and just cutting a few corners where, if they hadn't, could have really brightened him up and made him a standout action figure. But guys, what do you think about the Retro Apocalypse? Do you think it's going to compare favourably to the Select? Cannot wait to get my little mitts on that one. Comment below. Let me know. And if you like what you see here and you want to see more, then you know what you got to do. You got to join the 6-1 clicks. Join the 4 horsemen of model behavior. Hopefully I'll have more than 4 people. But yeah, do that. That'll be a good time. We'll have punch and pie. I don't know. Guys, thanks very much for watching. And until next time, keep displaying model behavior.
Did you enjoy this episode, my child? Well, wait a minute.
Ah, that's better. Did you enjoy this episode, my child? Well, if you did, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. But if you want to really support the channel, then you can go over to patreon.com/displaying-model-behaviour and toss a couple of bucks Dave's way. Or you can join the YouTube channel member section, where you can enjoy all the same videos and have nice little icons next to your name when he does live streams. Yes, lovely. Or, on top of that, if you want more model behavior, you can join one of Dave's 2 other channels. There is Displaying Miscellaneous Behavior, where he just rants about stuff, and also Model Behavior Wrestling, for all your wrestling needs, I guess. All right, go do that. Bye. Yeah.
Cup of coffee, cup of coffee,